Tonight, despite the cost of living, the Premier receives passing marks in a recent poll. A second mobile mammogram machine is ready to serve patients in rural Saskatchewan. Funding for small-town police forces in Saskatchewan.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It's not an overwhelming majority, but a recent poll from Angus Reid finds that about 51% of Saskatchewan residents that were polled have a favorable view of Premier Scott Moe's performance. But as Wayne Mantika tells us, many indicated that their personal financial situation has gotten worse over the past year.
After 8 years in office, Scott Moe retains a high voter approval rating. The Angus Reid Institute surveyed 325 Saskatchewan residents in late March and found that 51% approved of Moe's performance. Nationally, Manitoba's Wab Kinew topped the list with an approval rating of 61%, followed by New Brunswick's Susan Holt at 54%, Moe at 51%, and Alberta's Danielle Smith at 46%. This comes amid growing concern about the economy. 44% of Saskatchewan residents said they are worse off economically than they were a year ago. The cost of living and health care were the top two issues for Saskatchewan residents surveyed, with jobs and the deficit further down the list. Opposition leader Carla Beck's approval rating was much lower than Moe's at 33%.
The same poll shows affordability is the #1 issue for people in this province. Healthcare, jobs in the economy. Those are the things that people care about. Those are the things that we are going to continue to connect on.
Despite concerns about the economy and healthcare, the survey found that nearly half of Saskatchewan residents were satisfied with the direction of the province. Angus Reid said that was among the highest levels of optimism in Canada. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The province has a new tool to help reduce the wait lists for a mammogram. Today, a second vehicle with a mobile mammogram machine was unveiled, bringing breast cancer screening directly to people that live in rural and remote Saskatchewan. Damian Smith has more.
Model number 2 of the mobile mammography unit is set to hit the road on Monday afternoon. The unit will travel across Saskatchewan, testing for potential breast cancer diagnoses.
In a 12-hour day, we can see 50 to 54 women every single day. So you think about what that does in terms of improving access for women in rural Saskatchewan, massive impact.
According to the Saskatchewan Health Authority, each appointment will take around 10 minutes.
The technologist will explain the exam, take a brief medical history, and really work to make sure the patient feels comfortable and knows what to expect.
People who go for regular screening, 75% of cancers detected are in earlier stage, meaning better treatment options, better health outcomes, better survival.
The 2 mammography units will visit 42 rural and northern communities across Saskatchewan this year and are expected to screen in between 6,000 and 7,500 patients. Each location visit will last for a week, reaching all corners of the province, from Maple Creek and Carlisle in the south to Pelican Narrows and La Loche in the north. This is the 3rd mammography unit in the province's history, with the first one starting in the early 2000s. That unit is no longer in service.
Because of its age, we weren't able to maintain like water service. So just being able to wash your hands and do some of that cleaning, it's a night and day improvement.
According to the health minister, both units will be able to reach a total of 15,000 women.
It's so important that women have access and can take their own health into their own hands and make that decision themselves without having to wait for a referral from a doctor.
According to the Canadian Cancer Society, 1 in 8 Canadian women are diagnosed with breast cancer at some point in their life. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Well, they teased it earlier this week. The Saskatchewan NDP unveiling today their plan for long-term power generation in the province. The NDP would scrap the provincial government's $2.6 billion plan to extend the life of coal-fired power plants near Estevan and Cornac. Instead, it would focus on wind, solar, and natural gas-generated electricity. The NDP says its plan would cost about $20 billion over the long term, compared to its estimate of $60 billion for SaskPower's current plan.
This is a plan that will build new capacity quickly through wind, solar, and battery storage. It will add reliable natural gas to make sure the system works when people need it.
In a written statement, the government says the NDP's plan would dismantle nearly 1/3 of SaskPower's baseload generation and contains no commitment to keep the carbon tax off power bills. A boost for policing in the province. A new provincial grant is providing funding for small town and rural police services in Saskatchewan. Stacey Hine has more on what this could mean for community safety.
5 police services will now receive provincial funding through the Small Town and Rural Police, or STAR, grant. The program was announced in last month's provincial budget, with $190,000 set aside this year. Under it, services will receive $10,000 per officer.
We just recognize that small town and rural police services need some assistance as policing becomes more and more complex.
The Community Safety Minister says the funding model is based on service size, with larger forces receiving more support due to higher costs.
It's an objective way of setting a dollar value.
The Corman Park Police Service will receive the largest share, $110,000 for its 11 officers. Chief Robert Duchin says officers now deal with more complex cases and carry more equipment, so the funding will help with training and upgrades.
We want our officers to be capable, competent, and able to use every tool at their disposal, but we have to continue to resupply the tools.
Duchin says the grant is a small part of the service's roughly $2.5 million budget, but will help as it catches up on equipment and plans to hire 3 new officers by year's end. He also says it opens doors for more proactive policing.
We have that little bit of wiggle room to allocate some funds to get our members out proactively doing things that I really see as enhancing community and public safety in the RM.
Dalmany, Luseland, Vanscoy, and Wilton Police will also receive funding. Police in larger centres have received provincial funding since 2007, and the province says the STAR grant now extends that support to all police services in Saskatchewan. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The owner of the former school where the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada and her followers resided in the town of Richmond had his court appearance adjourned today in Swift Current. Ricky Manns is charged with 1 count of failure to comply with a release order condition, 1 count of intimidation of a justice system participant, and 1 count of failure to comply with undertaking condition. He is also facing 7 additional charges related to previous incidents that include assaults, resisting arrest, mischief, uttering threats, and obstructing municipalities. Manns, along with the group's leader, Romana Didulo, were taken into custody after Saskatchewan RCMP raided the compound in September. Last month, the Crown stayed the charges against Didulo. Manns' next appearance is scheduled for April the 22nd in Swift Current. Kindersley RCMP have arrested 4 people and seized drugs after a traffic stop. On April the 3rd, Mountie say a search of the vehicle turned up about 51 grams of fentanyl, 16 grams of meth, drug paraphernalia, unstamped tobacco, a small amount of heroin and cash. 2 men and one of the 2 women that were arrested between the ages of 43 and 45 now face various charges. Regina police have charged a man with arson with disregard for human life. Back on February 27th, around 5:45 p.m., a unit inside a condo complex on a 300 block of Angus Street was engulfed in flames. Regina Fire Protection Services determined it was deliberately set. An investigation led police to a 43-year-old man. He made his first court appearance yesterday. Well, winter is just not done with us yet. Another widespread storm across the province dropped anywhere from 15 to 30 centimeters, depending on where you live. Meadow Lake, the hardest hit, with Environment Canada estimating about 37 centimeters, or about more than 14 and a half inches of snow falling. As a result, travel was not recommended this morning on highways in the Melfort-Humboldt areas, but roads have definitely gotten a lot better now with the warm-up. RCMP say they responded to 78 collisions from 3 p.m. yesterday to noon today. All right, Sabine's here with our first look at weather. Yes, central Saskatchewan, east central got hit a lot harder than what we saw in southern Saskatchewan, but what's on the horizon for us?
Well, the sunshine is about to arrive, Lee. Any minute now. We're just waiting for it. Today we did see the tail end. We might have full numbers for what the Parkland saw snowfall total-wise heading into tomorrow, just because we continued to see more of that snow late into this morning and early afternoon. Temperatures nowhere close to what we saw yesterday, where we saw many areas, especially in southern Saskatchewan, getting into the double digits. We barely just got above, or just close to zero, -1, -2 for the Regina area. Now that will change as we head into tomorrow. You can see already on the radar satellite last few hours we haven't really had to worry about active weather. Heading into tonight though, we do have some cooler temperatures on the way, and even now we're seeing those temperatures below zero, but we are feeling the effects of the wind chill again as well, with that Arctic air still lingering in Saskatchewan. But as the weekend approaches, Lee, we will see more sunshine and warmer temperatures, and I'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast.
Thank you, Sabine. According to Public Safety Canada, last year's wildfire season was the second most destructive in the country's history. As Jasmine Pelche tells us, work is already underway in Saskatchewan to try and avoid the amount of property that was damaged yet last year by wildfires.
Despite how it looks outside the Saskatchewan Public Safety Provincial Response Centre, wildfire season began April 1st.
The agency continues to concentrate on prevention, readiness, and rapid response, working closely with local communities, partners, and emergency services. We trust their expertise and leadership to guide decisions throughout this season.
The SPSA held a technical briefing Wednesday on upcoming seasonal conditions and how the agency is preparing. The SPSA says wildfire detection tower staff arrived this week to begin spring training. For the 2026 season, the SPSA began hiring seasonal staff 1 month earlier than the year before, and the province is doubling the volunteer first responder tax credit. The agency says it has secured additional aircraft.
Conditions vary between regions, with the north and central Saskatchewan seeing good snow recovery and over the winter and cooler temperatures. In contrast, the southwest experienced extremely dry and warm weather with worsening drought conditions and little to no snowpack.
The provincial budget for 2026-27 has earmarked an additional $20 million for the SPSA for a total $140 million. The agency is encouraging citizen preparedness and says that about half the fires in the province are human-caused.
It is critical for every person and every community to have an emergency plan in place.
During last year's wildfire season, which destroyed hundreds of homes and led to the evacuation of thousands of residents, the province declared a state of emergency. The province's budget update for the third quarter of 2025-26 says that protection of persons and property is up $392 million, largely due to wildfire and evacuation activities across the province and increased expenditures for custody services. A third-party review on last year's wildfire season is still in progress. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
It's an issue every Canadian university is facing: how to advance their post-secondary institution while facing a financial fallout from a reduction in international students. Today, the U of R revealed the blueprint for their future. Jacob Carr was there and has the details.
Here in the Administration Humanities Building, the University of Regina announced its strategic plan vision for the next 10 years, their motto being, "Together we serve," meaning service is not an individual act, but instead a shared institutional responsibility. The plan, according to the University of Regina Board, has 5 priorities or goals within the next 10 years. Together we learn, discover, build, put things right, and innovate, focusing on areas such as becoming one of the top universities in Canada in terms of teaching excellence and offering one of Canada's most distinctive and transformative learning experiences.
Aligning people, systems, and resources to strengthen collaboration across faculties, campuses, and units, and to create a more seamless experience for students, faculty, and staff.
The Together We Put Things Right priority involves advancing truth and reconciliation as a sustained university-wide commitment.
It's our collective responsibility not only to implement the calls to action of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, but also to make reconciliation a lived reality within the institution.
University President and Vice Chancellor Jeff Keshen was asked about the plan to address the steep decline of international students that the school has seen.
It's required all areas of the institution to recalibrate, to reduce some of the surpluses they had, to hold off some hiring. So like all sectors, we're trying to mitigate the impact upon people. We're trying to ensure that our students have the programs they need.
According to Keshen, in the next 10 years, the university will look to continue to adapt to new innovations in technology and learning, such as the advancement of artificial intelligence. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, a longtime Conservative MP crosses the floor to join the Liberals. The 2-week ceasefire is agreed upon by the U.S. and Iran.
Tonight,
I was shocked that there's other women.
How multiple women discovered they're married to the same man.
After some digging, it turns out I'm not even the first one.
Just how many wives they found. W5 investigates tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
The Liberals are one step closer to a majority government after another Conservative crossed the floor. Longtime Ontario MP Marilyn Gladu becomes the 4th Conservative and the 5th MP to join Mark Carney's government. The surprising move comes less than a week until 3 key by-elections. Graham Richardson has more.
Because of Marilyn Gladu, a Conservative MP.
Here's Marilyn Gladu as a Conservative back in 2023.
Our leader has been supportive of this bill all the way along. I want to thank him for that.
It is a great pleasure.
Cut to today.
I'm very happy to be the newest member of our new Liberal government.
A partisan defection that enrages Conservatives as the Prime Minister casts it as a country coming together to his side.
This all comes at a time when the country as a whole is uniting. Uniting to move forward, and it's important that over there we unite to move forward as well.
Pierre Poilievre tweeted, Gladu said that floor crossers should face voters in a by-election. I could not agree more. As recently as January, she told her local paper, we elected you under this banner, and if you don't want to be under that banner, then we deserve a chance to have a redo of the election. Sarnia is a border town that's known for oil refineries and some manufacturing connected to the auto sector. Some constituents here are not happy.
We thought absolutely no way would she cross. So now I'm wondering, why did she cross? What did Carney give her? And explain it to your constituents.
Most Conservatives felt that way today, that Gladu would be the last to make a move like this.
Look at her social media feed. Up until just hours ago, she was trashing and attacking the Liberal government of which she's now proudly a part. This is very cynical and it's very odd.
But the red clothing at the photo op and broad smiles right inside the Prime Minister's office, another body blow to Tories. So is this over? Don't bet on it. The party is about to start for Liberals. Their convention in Montreal begins tomorrow. So far, there have been no floor crossers from the province of Quebec, despite rumors swirling around this place for months. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
The White House is declaring victory after the U.S. president announced a 2-week ceasefire in his war with Iran. This after Donald Trump threatened to destroy the country if Tehran didn't open the Strait of Hormuz. Joy Malbin has the latest.
On the streets of Tehran, they chant death to America as the U.S. Secretary of War declared victory over Iran.
President Trump forged this moment. Iran begged for this ceasefire, and we all know it.
This 2-week truce looking shaky at best. Iran is still holding up hundreds of oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, effectively controlling global oil production in the Gulf.
The Iranian response is we're going to control it and put a toll on everybody. And there's no ceasefire. Literally within the past hour, Saudi Arabia has reported that its pipeline, which goes from the Gulf to the Red Sea, has been hit by a drone.
Blocking the strait, says Iran, is retaliation. for Israel's continued attacks on Lebanon. Israel insists the ceasefire doesn't include their war against Iranian-backed Hezbollah. The fresh violence threatening to scuttle Washington's fragile truce.
And I will reiterate the president's expectation and demand that the Strait of Hormuz is reopened immediately, quickly, and safely.
President Donald Trump, who threatened to annihilate Iran just yesterday and back down, called this a big day for world peace, posting, "The U.S. will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through regime change. There will be no enrichment of uranium."
So right now it's buried and we're watching it. We know exactly what they have. They'll give it to us voluntarily. We'll get it. We'll take it. We'll take it out.
Leaving many politicians wondering what this war was all about.
We have lost 13 American service members, hundreds of American service members wounded, thousands of people, innocent civilians throughout the region killed, prices going up, the American taxpayers paying $2 billion a day. And all for nothing.
The White House says Vice President J.D. Vance will lead in-person peace talks with Iran. The regime prefers him because of his past skepticism about Middle East wars. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
It's day 8 for Jeremy Hansen and his fellow astronauts aboard Artemis II. It started with a 11:35 wake-up call that included a message from the Canadian Space Agency. At the time, the crew was about 322,000 kilometers from Earth and 134,000 kilometers from the Moon. Today, focused on a number of tests before they return to Earth later this week. NASA provided an update on the mission late this afternoon.
The mission continues to go well as the crew prepares to transition back to Earth and we get ready for entry day. After an exciting day of science on Monday and a day for the crew to recover and then achieve some other flight objectives yesterday, the team is turning our attention to the return and getting the crew safely home.
Now, this is a simulated look at the crew's return home, or there it is right there. The astronauts are scheduled to complete their journey back to Earth on Friday at 8:07 p.m. Eastern Time off the coast of San Diego. The astronauts have been sending back some photos that have taken during the mission, and here's one of our galaxy, the Milky Way, following the crew's historic flight around the moon. It joins a number of other images released by NASA this week, including some showing the moon during the record-setting journey to the far side of our closest celestial neighbor. Coming up, how a Métis woman is using yoga to help with her grief.
All right, welcome back. We're going to take a look at what your forecast is looking like approaching the weekend. End of the week, into the weekend. We'll talk about that. It was a cooler day in the Queen City. We did start with some snow, depending on where you are in southern Saskatchewan. Regina in particular had some snow first thing in the morning, and we did deal with some strong wind gusts for many parts of the province today, continuing in from yesterday. Some areas saw those wind gusts up to about 60 kilometers an hour today, and didn't really see a big warm up. We warmed up to about -2, and that's basically what we're still sitting at. It was -1.7. The warmest spot was late this afternoon, and currently we're still at -2 with the winds at 15, but still gusting up to about 30 kilometers an hour. So an updated picture on our radar satellite of what we're looking at. So all of that snow, all of the warnings, all of the special weather statements that we did see in effect have all lifted. The snow has moved into Manitoba, but we're still seeing a little bit of scattered precipitation in the form of snow coming through parts of northern Saskatchewan as we head into this evening. A lot of that cloud cover will start to break up, but we will see more of that cloud cover moving in as we head into the overnight. I'll get out of the way and show you what we can expect. Little pockets of flurries still continuing as we start our Thursday tomorrow, especially that area just around the Swift Current area. And Regina could see some mixed precipitation late afternoon, and other parts of southern Saskatchewan actually seeing pockets of some scattered showers. Regina could see a mix of rain and snow, but again, we're expecting daytime highs to be above 0 tomorrow, so the snow may be more of a wet snow slush type deal with the rain, of course, included. And may not have noticed, today we did see a little bit of freezing rain first thing this morning, and there is a slight chance in that mix late afternoon tomorrow we could see some freezing rain as well. But as we continue throughout Thursday into Friday, we will see southern Saskatchewan seeing mostly clear conditions and a lot more sunshine expected, and also as we head into Saturday as well. So warmer days ahead, especially Friday, Saturday. Sunday also looking like we'll see warmer temperatures. However, Sunday is the day we're looking at some rain expected in the forecast, and I'll talk about that in your 7-day forecast. But temperature-wise, like I said, we're back above zero for daytime highs tomorrow for many parts of the province. Cloudy still for northern Saskatchewan. La Ronge 3 degrees tomorrow, 2 and cloudy for La Loche, 4 and cloudy for Prince Albert. Lloydminster expecting to see some more sunshine with a mix of sun and cloud and 3 degrees there. Mainly sunny for Saskatoon, +3 and cloudy for Yorkton, and 4 and a mix of sun and cloud for North Battleford. The southwest actually getting back into what our average daytime highs look like for this time of year, especially in southern Saskatchewan. 9 degrees for Maple Creek with a mix of sun and cloud, 7 for Swift Current, 8 for Moose Jaw. The southeast seeing similar temperatures, 8 for Weyburn and for Assiniboia, 7 and mostly cloudy for Estevan. For Regina tonight, we are dipping to -7 tonight for our lows. Slight chance we could see some scattered flurries. Winds up to 20 kilometers an hour, and then tomorrow +5 is the expected high with a mix of sun and cloud. And take a look at your next 7 days. So not really looking too bad. 5 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Friday, sunny and 11 degrees. And even the lows for Friday, Saturday expecting to be above seasonal with 0 as a low on Friday. Saturday, mainly sunny, 13 degrees. And by Sunday, that's where we could see that precipitation arrive in the form of rain. 10 is still the expected high. So we're still seeing above seasonal daytime highs and lows for both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But heading into Sunday night, that rain precipitation, because we'll see those temperatures drop below 0 as well, could turn into some flurries, and you could be starting your Monday with some snow in the forecast first thing in the morning especially. 1 is the expected high, and then we'll have a cooler Monday, Tuesday, cooler start to your week. Tuesday, 3 degrees, and then by the time we get into Wednesday, we're bumping back up to double digits at 12 degrees as your expected high. So we pushed through this Alberta clipper that came to visit us, and then we're going to see a really nice weekend ahead, Lee.
We'll enjoy that for sure. Thank you, Sabine.
Yeah.
Well, it's a popular way to get in shape. Yoga, a practice that isn't just physical, it's also a mental and spiritual experience. In fact, it's helped a Métis woman from Saskatchewan heal from her grief. Laura Woodward shares her story.
You're sitting up nice and tall.
Danielle Van Dale started Ella Studios, creating what she describes as art therapy.
It's an expressive arts therapy studio that is mobile in nature in terms of sometimes I'll be teaching yoga. Sometimes I will be filming in Métis and Indigenous communities.
Van Dale says the idea was born out of personal trauma. She says she lost custody of her adopted daughter, Ella, during a period of mental health struggles.
My daughter came to me in a dream. She put a crayon in my hand and said to go make beautiful things.
She channeled her grief into creativity, blending yoga and filmmaking.
And I could go down the road of addiction, depression, like all the mental health issues, or I can take the road of creativity. And it was hard, but I chose that road. And once I got there, I didn't realize how many other people had same stories, because you start to feel like you're alone in that grief.
Van Dale's films follow themes of pain, identity, and healing, often using nature and movement to tell the stories. She says her filmmaking work and yoga classes frequently take her into smaller Indigenous communities where mental health supports can be limited.
So it's kind of a mishmash and a mixing pot of healing modalities that people really need in these small towns.
Van Dale says her goal is to help others work through their own difficult experiences. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Waka.
Still ahead, the Yorkton Terriers and Weyburn Red Wings find themselves down in their SJHL semifinal matchups. SJHL playoffs, the Yorkton Terriers will look to get back on track tonight in Game 4 versus the Battlefords.
Leonard wins it back to Corshane, brings it towards the high slot. Down low for Reese, and he scores!
And last night, Thomas Reid scored a pair of goals for the Terriers, but it would not be enough. Anthony Campbell scoring the winner in the third to give the North Stars a 3-2 win and a 2-1 series lead. Now, Gabriel Corshane and William Leonard have yet to record a goal in this series. They'll try again tonight at 7:30.
As Meunier going to go near side. Ewan gets it past his man, finds Miller walking in, shoots, scores!
Meanwhile, in Weyburn, Connor Miller scored in a second to give Flin Flon a 2-goal lead. Bombers goalie Charlie Tritt made 38 saves, missing just one. It was an Aidan Mohan deflection with under a minute to go. Flin Flon holds on for the 2-1 win, and they lead the series by that same score. That means Weyburn now needs at least another win at the Whitney Forum in Flin Flon to win the series. Game 4, though, is in Weyburn. It goes tonight at 7 o'clock. Saskatchewan has been chosen as one of the communities to host FIFA World Cup celebration. So on July the 4th, the Canada Celebrates FIFA World Cup 2026 countrywide tour will make a stop in that city. Fans can take in free activities, watch the 2 round of 16 games that are set to play that day, as well as enjoy music and food. 34 Canadian communities are set to host the festivities as a way to allow Canadian fans outside of Vancouver and Toronto to be part of the highly anticipated event. The FIFA World Cup runs June 11th to July 19th and will be hosted by Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. And, of course, Toronto and Vancouver are the 2 Canadian host cities. An 18-year-old from Calgary is skipping his way into the record books. He started back when he was a child, and as Glenn Campbell tells us, he's set to compete at a national championship in BC, where he's jumping at the chance to take top spot.
Nathan Leung started rope skipping back in Hong Kong when he was 7 years old.
I remember trying jump rope for my first time in my lunch break, and a teacher saw my potential, so that she just brought me in the school team, and I represented Hong Kong when I was at a young age.
When Nathan and his family moved to Canada, he stopped jumping rope for 4 years. When he picked up the rope again, he didn't miss a beat.
I like this sport because it's really different compared to the other sports. This is really a creative sport. You can come up with new tricks, and you can even make your own trick. I really enjoy the community in jump rope too, because everyone just supports each other no matter which team you're on.
At the recent provincial jump roping championships in Calgary, Nathan was skipping to new records. In the 30-second speed event, he recorded 100 jumps, setting an Alberta record and tying a Canadian record. In the triple unders event, he tied an Alberta record with 203 triples. And in the 3-minute speed endurance event, Leung had 490 jumps, setting a national record.
Yeah, I was really surprised at first because it didn't feel like I broke the record, but then after looking at the scores, I was just amazed.
Hallie Borden coaches at Skip Squad and also competes. She helps put the 3-minute speed endurance event into perspective.
They're only counting his right foot, so he got 490 right foot jumps. For comparison, myself, been in the sport for 13 years, my personal record is 395.
Nathan's goal is to get to the Worlds and medal. Rowan Reef is another coach at Skip Squad. He has no doubts Nathan will get there.
Absolutely. Nathan could be at Worlds in Norway in 2027 in the summer. It's extremely expensive to go. There's a big financial commitment, and it also depends a lot on his teammates if they can qualify as a team. It isn't just an individual sport. He could qualify individually, and he will.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Still ahead, should LED headlights be banned for being too bright?
Warmer day. See, I had it in my head, and then warmer days ahead for rural Saskatchewan as we take a look at your forecast for tomorrow and even approaching the weekend. Now, we still have some cloud cover that we're going to be seeing throughout the province tomorrow, and also some of these temperatures not taking into consideration that we're still going to feel some of the Arctic air. So some of these will feel just below zero with the Arctic air and the wind chill, of course. So taking a look at parts like Hudson Bay, 4 degrees cloudy there. there. 2 and cloudy for Melfort. 4 and cloudy also for Meadow Lake. And then expecting some sunshine in areas around Lloydminster. A mix of sun and cloud, 3 degrees. Sunny and a mix of sun and cloud for a mix of sun and cloud, 7 for Kindersley and Outlook. Mainly sunny for Watrous, 3 degrees. And a cool +1 for Wynyard and cloudy there. As we get closer to the southern border, pretty close to the temperatures around the 7-degree mark, but a little warmer for Leader and Maple Creek, 9 and a mix of sun and cloud, and for Coronach, 8 for Assiniboia Rockglen, a mix of sun and cloud there, and cloudy conditions in the southeast, but temperatures still expecting to be above 0 for many areas of the province, including Vibank. A mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Winds picking up to 40 kilometers an hour. +5 is the expected high. However, the wind chill is looking like it'll be 0. Yeah.
0. You can Vibank on that. Saskatchewan has some long-standing rules when it comes to entertainment that's perceived as nudity. So when the Chippendales tour stopped in Saskatoon last night, organizers had to be creative to serve up some drinks. Keenan Sorokon explains.
As hundreds of women made their way to TCU Place to see the touring striptease dance troupe Chippendales, tucked away at the back of the lobby were some volunteers and puppies from New Hope Dog Rescue. This wasn't just some unusual partnership. It was an obligation under a decades-old rule in Saskatchewan.
Once you have a show, like I said, that has that active stripping going on, the regulations basically say that if you're going to do that, you really can't open a bar of any kind.
The only way you can go out and see naughty bits while enjoying a drink in Saskatchewan is if the bar benefits a charity, and it can only be done once a year.
Oiled up male dancers and some fuzzy dogs on the same site. I thought, how could we ask for a better Tuesday?
The strange circumstances weren't lost on organizers, given the many places bars are allowed to operate.
People can drink in a million venues in Saskatchewan, and they can do it from 10 or 11 in the morning till 2 a.m. We're talking about a 100-minute window where people have paid money to come see a show.
Saskatoon's struggles with alcohol in public date back to its origins. Founded by the Temperance Colonization Society in 1883, the city was meant to be a utopia. Its first liquor permit was swiftly taken away. Prohibition stopped all public drinking for 20 years, and liquor laws weren't modernized until 1960, moving from beer parlors to licensed dining rooms, restaurants, and lounges.
So if you were a woman in Saskatchewan, you couldn't drink in public until 1960, when there was a major liberalization of the liquor laws.
Laws weren't opened up again until 2014, but stripping or nudity of any kind always had pushback. Saskatoon's most famous case was Showgirls, which tried fighting its case to serve alcohol all the way to the Supreme Court. These court battles helped it stay open a little while longer, and it even tried opening a bar in the same building, separated by these doors, with drinking on one side and the strip show on the other. But even it closed for good more than 2 decades ago. And since the beginning, history shows it's the demand of the people that has moved the needle.
Government has never really been interested in legislating liquor except for at the demand of the population.
Now those at the show are wondering if it's time to reconsider this strip and sip rule.
Well, it seems a little selective. I just thought it was okay.
Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right. Federal government is asking drivers whether they think LED headlights are too bright. CAA says it's one of the top safety concerns that it's hearing about from people that are on the road. Sean Verdun has more.
It's just like getting a blast of sun in your face.
As LED headlights have become an auto industry standard, some drivers say they're simply too bright.
I can't see at all, and it didn't used to be like that.
Well, certainly headlight brightness has become more of an issue over the past decade, I would say, and we do hear complaints from members complaining about brightness, about the different colors of headlights.
Now, Transport Canada is conducting an online survey looking for feedback about how often drivers are affected by the glare from headlights.
During the daylight time, I don't think they're too bright, but definitely during the evening, once the sun is down, it surely is.
The new headlight technology helping drivers see better at night, but it can be blinding for others on the road.
An optometrist told me that this is becoming an increasing problem for most people because they see halos around the light, and it's making it even more difficult to maneuver through traffic and see where you're going.
For many, it's not just the lights head-on. Cars following behind can be an issue as well.
LED headlights for me have become a problem because they have become brighter and more pronounced, in particular when they're coming up behind you and you're stopped at a traffic light and it's nighttime. It's very hard to see what is around you or what's coming at you.
CAA supports the government survey while also offering tips for drivers caught in the glare.
When you have a new vehicle or you're getting your headlights changed, to make sure they're angled properly, make sure that they're cleaned properly, and if you need them, to get some sort of night vision glasses that are going to sort of mitigate some of the glare.
The Transport Canada survey wraps up April 20th. Sean Varden, CTV News.
Let's go to the canola street price. It is down $4.30 to $648.93 per ton. The futures price down $6.40 to $732.80 per ton. Amber Durum wheat stays the same, $278.59 per ton. Red spring wheat actually jumped up $2.22. It's at $274.29 per ton. Feed barley moved. It's up $5.30 to $250.88 per ton. And flax did drop yesterday at the last moment. It is sitting at $630.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Canada's futures. Markets at TSX up at 383 points. The Dow Jones, have to wonder this has to do with the ceasefire. It is up more than 1,000 points. The Canadian dollar, it went up a little more than pretty close to 0.3 cents to 72.24 cents US. Commodity front, gold up $12.64. West Texas Intermediate crude dropped by $18.54. It's now below the $100 mark. Western Canadian Select crude is up 15 cents. So gas in Regina, no impact. It's still sitting at $1.75.9 per liter.
West Texas Intermediate dropped almost 15% today on hopes that more tankers will start moving again through the Strait of Hormuz. Oil backed off, and so did many other energy stocks as other sectors gained, like consumer discretionary. Aritzia, a Canadian clothing retailer, was up 9.5%. The key North American markets all gained between 1% and 3% today. The world's most popular EV maker, BYD, plans to open about 20 sales offices in Canada this year. Last month, the company said it's considering building a factory here. BYD wants to capitalize on Ottawa's recent decision to allow up to 49,000 Chinese EVs to be sold in Canada without a tariff. Canadian Tire is rolling out summer products with the iconic Hudson Bay stripes. Blankets, towels, pickleball sets, even canoes will be available. A 16-foot canoe will cost $10,000. A 9-foot canoe will be $6,000. The products will be on shelves May 1st. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up after the cast, we got the floor at 7 o'clock, followed by Shark Tank. Don't sound so disappointed. Shark Tank at 9, Scrubs at 10, E-Talk at 10:30, and then we've got your news at 11 and 11:30. The latest Spider-Man movie is swinging into theaters just a few months from now, but star Tom Holland is sharing details about some last-minute changes.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but
I cannot wait. Spider-Man Brand New Day sees Peter Parker finding his way in a world that's forgotten he exists while still facing off against new threats. In an interview published today, Holland told GQ that he'd been in London to shoot some additional scenes. The actor said they were intended to add in some more humor and to help flesh out a villain's plotline. The trailer dropped last month and became the first in history to garner 1 billion views. Brand New Day hits theaters July 31st.
You're losing it, kid.
There you go. Punisher's in it.
Good, I know.
As well, so.
It's going to be so good. Okay, I love this. The Utah Mammoth is unveiling its new Zamboni, which is unlike any other in the league.
It's the Mammoth. Zamboni that was used in the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics. Mammoth made its debut on the ice last night. You can have 8 fans ride the machine at a time.
Oh,
and you know a lot of people are going to come ride the Mammoth.
Okay, that's
Mammoth
dangerous.
Mammoth. That's not dangerous. They're going slow.
Okay, but is it actually doing the work of what a Zamboni is supposed to do? Or no?
It doesn't look like it's cleaning the ice there, but I'm sure it does. Or maybe they're just like, nah.
But also, look at that poor driver in the back. Is like, I don't know where I'm going.
Can't
That's
really
actually
see, can
super
he?
cool.
That is kind of cool. Something. She said, Happy Warmers Day tomorrow.